Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This is Naaman with the DC camp, branch of Great Millstone. Back for another video. First and foremost, call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rekah Gradash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, pushing the truth across the four corners of this earth with numerous amounts of videos that are uploaded for edification. All right, mainly to the hopeful elect. And this is what we do, try to awaken the rest of our people. All right, this is a funny video to me. As you can see, whistleblower exposes shady Mossad operatives inside TPUSA. See, this is all the shit that America has done, thinking themselves the smartest people in the room. This is the nation of Edom in general, but in particular, we're talking about America and the state of Israel. Man, this is a master class at manipulation. The ones who thought they were doing the teaching, well, as it turns out, no. And as I've said in my last at least couple of videos about the Austrian painter being right all along, all right, how they spun that whole tale. You want to talk about lies, all right, and being able to drain every bit of sympathy that they could from the world, and it worked. I said spin, but let's give it its proper respect. They lied and continue to lie. The good old boy Christians, the white nationalists, the neocons. First mistake you made long ago was thinking you had anything to do with the scriptures in a positive way. Those Israelis, of course, starting with, well, who will I say first? The study of, from the so-called rabbis, and then thereby educating the elites centuries ago. Oh man, you got to give it to them. All right, let's get this real quick. You got to give it to them. Let's see. This is Sirach 19 and 22. It says, "The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither any time the counsel of sinners prudence, although it may appear so." All right. There is a wickedness in the same an abomination. These people stole our identity. And they made the world. Made might be the wrong word. They con the world. All right. And for some of them, let's be honest, it didn't take too much, Edomite / white supremacy played a huge part in that. But all this, boy, the deceit. Wow. The level of deceit in this. But now, thankfully, it's come to a close. And I'm not going to talk anymore like I usually do. I've gone too far and too much already. Let's go ahead and further. Again, Mossad infiltrated TPUSA. Is that such a hard thing to believe? This whole country was infiltrated by, this is what Kennedy was, I keep saying that, and more it's coming out. All right, this is what Kennedy was dealing with, going hard at it 6 months before he was blown away. assassinate with Israel on a couple of fronts. First, with he was going at it with their prime minister, David Ben Gurion at the time, to the point, or to the extent that this guy resigned just all of a sudden in June of '63, I believe it was. And then there was the executive order that he passed, 11-110, which had to do, messing with the Federal Reserve there. All right. So he wanted them to register, talking about APAC. What is it? FARA? This keeps coming up. All right. Let's see. Foreign Agents Registration Act. This is what he was trying to get. And now, since it has been, let's see, Foreign Agents, right? 38, this is under Roosevelt. Was enacted to require individuals doing political or advocacy work on behalf of foreign entities in the United States to register with the Department of Justice and to disclose their relationship, activities, receipts, and disbursements in support of their activities. Now, they've gone so far as in recent years, I think it was 2022, that they allow them to fly their aircraft I'm talking about Israeli, in American airspace. See, you fell for the okie doke. You kept hearing Russia this and China this, and oh, we're so afraid, and oh man, they sold it good. But the one that you needed to worry about, turns out, was these motherfuckers here. Let's go ahead and roll.
Now, when it was finally my turn to go and talk to them, they approached me and they asked me, hey, what are your views on Israel? And I just told them, I think Israel's a good country. At the time, I thought so, at least. And they told me, okay, well, what do you think about, Mossad and, Israeli forces? And I was like, they're all right. Yeah. And they were like, what if we told you we're part of it, Israeli groups and forces? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, and you work for Turning Point, right? And they were like, yeah, we do. We've been working for Turning Point for the past 4 or 5 years now.
4 or 5 years.
There's more explosive insiders coming out TPUSA to tell you about hooker vans and Mossad implanted inside TPUSA. So it just gets shadier and shadier. The TPUSA guys, all their shady business dealings. Now we find out that they had Mossad implanted inside TPUSA, according to this whistleblower. Let's listen.
My name is Joshua Peterson. I'm a former representative for Turning Point USA, and I have a story to tell about when I was at training at Turning Point. So the first couple nights went, as you would expect, it's pretty long and strenuous work. We were being trained very vigorously, and after the first few days, we were told that we were going to have some group time. And the first thing that I thought about that was, that's going to be awesome. We get a group bond and stuff like that. And I get to hang out with my leader. However, this was not the case. We were going to be going out with our former representatives that had shown up from previous years and had been at training in previous years. And they were going to be the ones that were going to show us around the city. So I get paired up with these 2 specific people who I cannot name currently, but they take us out. And the first thing that I found very odd about, this Christian conservative company is they rented 2 stripper vans to take us out to the city. No strippers, but it was there were stripper poles inside the vans. Very odd, very unlike, their values, but okay.
Hey, come on, son. There's nothing more deeply spiritual than a stripper van full of hookers. You'll be saying, oh God, all night. Stripper poles, but no strippers? Do they make you earn that money $1 at a time in your G-string? Am I kidding? Come on, here we go.
And then once we got down to the bars in Arizona, they started getting us drunk. The former reps were. And very drunk at that.
Sounds like a Jerry Sandusky operation.
And then they started singling out people, and they would pull them out one by one to go outside and smoke a cigarette. Now, when it was finally my turn to go and talk to them, they approached me and they asked me, hey, what are your views on Israel? And I just told them, I think Israel's a good country. At the time, I thought so, at least. And they told me, okay, well, what do you think about, like, you know, Mossad and like Israeli forces? And I was like, they're all right. Like, yeah. And they were like, what if we told you we're part of it, like Israeli groups and forces? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, and you work for Turning Point, right? And they were like, yeah, we do. We've been working for Turning Point for the past 4 or 5 years now. Now, at the time, I did not know if the company knew of this. I did not know if they were infiltrating the company by any means, but they were Israeli agents within Turning Point USA, and I knew that there were more as well. And there was many more of them in Turning Point. And it was a very concerning thing for me and a couple of the representatives that we noticed. And we did end up bringing it up to our administration at Turning Point that this was going on. And they said they would take care of it. And sure enough, nothing was done about it. There was absolutely zero retaliation towards those representatives that were a part of Israel. And there was nothing. And that was very disappointing to see, and honestly a huge red flag for a lot of us.
Well, that is so Mossad to lure them in with an empty stripper van and then try to sell them something. Am I right? Come on. Candace Owens reveals that 12 Israeli-linked cell phones were detected at Utah Valley University on the day Charlie Kirk was taken out. The phones were registered in Israel. According to Owens, Kash Patel and the NSA are scrambling to keep the information from reaching the public.
Look at
Wow,
that.
well,
Look at that.
I love these whistleblowers. I think this is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
This is great. I thought all our cell phones were Israeli now, though, but aren't they?
Just about. Again, another area where they've used their technology to spy. All right. How many of you are going to finally believe now what Great Millstone has been trying to tell you all along? America has been compromised long ago. All right. America is twisted around the pinky finger of them rats over there. Have been for the longest time. It would seem, I'm going to put it that way, that your political figures are compromised. Allegedly, of course. So they all bow. For those of you that missed it, how many representatives went over there to, let's see, to kiss the ass, or the ring, so to speak? 200, let's see, and 50, hold on, US Rep Pro, let's see, "50 states, 1 Israel." Look at this. Was a conference held in Israel from September 14th, just not quite 3 months ago, for state legislators from the United States and members of the Israeli government. Hosted by the Israeli Foreign Ministry, the conference was described as the largest delegation of elected officials to visit Israel. All right, how many? Let's see. 241 American state legislators. I said 250, so I went 9 over. I thought it actually was a little short, but they say 241. Okay. Still, think about that. Think about that. Well, this is why nothing is getting done here. All the people that are homeless, you can't get free health care here, but they have it over there at your expense. You people are fucking stupid. The stupid American trope.
I thought all our cell phones were Israeli now, though, but aren't they? You mean there are still a few that are non-explosive?
The stupid American. These motherfuckers are so hateful of Jake. They don't want Jake to get anything. And this is why this is happening. All right? You're so focused on so called black people not getting anything. All right? And you're getting taken advantage of on levels a lot of you hadn't even thought about yet. Oh man, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know.
Is that real? It's the new bye-bye phone from the Mossad. And you get a pager thrown in. So there it is. That is, again, I can't get over. And there's people keep pretending that asking logical questions is somehow crazy. So they try to frame everything Candace Owens is saying or any questions that people have about this obvious BS story being peddled by the FBI that he got shot with a 30-06 bullet, which would have taken his head clean off.
Yes.
But somehow his spine was so strong, it stopped it. Okay, not real. They lied about the SD cards. They immediately grabbed the SD card. They lied about the drone footage. They lied about that. They lied about Mikey McCoy being covered in blood and then started directing everything. He was hundreds of yards away. He wasn't directing anything. He was still so they cannot stop lying.
Make him the hero.
They're lying about everything. And
this is a Christmas gift kids actually want and will use. I got these for my kids. They're obsessed with them.
They're lying about everything. And yeah, I can hear you now, Kurt. Kurt is here with this. Kurt, what do you have to say about the Mossad infiltrating TPUSA?
Didn't Al Qaeda, the 9/11 bombers, didn't they go to strip clubs too?
I think the Al Qaeda 9/11 bombers, they also went to strip clubs. Yes, they did.
I wonder if they got that speech. What do you think of Israel? Well, we never attacked them, of course. We're Al Qaeda.
So they just keep doubling down on their lies. They're just lying left and right, and now they get their their paid shills, their influencers on social media to misframe everything, to put up straw men, to try to discredit anybody, especially Candace Owens, who's asking logical questions. I've been through this before. I went through it with the Seth Rich investigation. I asked logical questions about the Seth Rich murder because Julian Assange had hinted that Seth Rich was where they got the downloads of the DNC server, which revealed all the shenanigans that Hillary Clinton and the illegality she was doing with the Democratic National Committee. And so they killed him. It looks like someone killed him because of that. But the official story is that it was a botched robbery where they didn't take his watch, they didn't take his cell phone, and they didn't take his wallet. And so if you ask any questions about that, you're crazy. And now we know that the FBI has lied all along about it. They said they didn't have his laptop. Then they said they had it, but they couldn't get the information from it. Then they said, okay, we could get the information from it, but we can't release it. And then a court ordered them twice, the FBI, to release it, and they still won't release it. 10 years later, a decade later, they won't release it. So I asked logical questions about that, and I was put in a Washington Post hit piece by Dave Weigel saying that I was a conspiracy theorist, along with all these white supremacists and Nazis and pedophiles. That was put into the same Washington Post article. They're doing the same thing with the Charlie Kirk investigation. The same people who covered up the Epstein files and demanded that they be released. Now they're the head of the FBI. Now they say there are no files to be released. Yeah, but Pam Bondi said she had all the files on her desk. Okay, there are files, but there's nothing in the file. Okay, that's great. So those same people are lying to you about the Charlie Kirk investigation, also the Butler investigation. And but there is no Butler investigation. So those same people covering up everything, and the JFK, going back to JFK, RFK.
Not a single one. Not a single one has been correct. Not a single one.
That's right.
Not one thing they ever told you was correct on any of them.
On any of these. But you're again, if you listen to these influencers that are obviously being paid to lie and to try to discredit anybody asking questions, especially Candace Owens, they don't have any questions. They don't have any questions about. They don't know how did this kid was allowed to get on top of a roof. They're supposed to have security. They're supposed to have drone coverage. They're supposed
People
to
get
be
on roofs.
There was only a couple of roofs there, and they weren't watching them. People in the crowd saw the guy on the roof. Turns out nobody in the security saw it, just like at Butler. Everybody in the crowd saw the guy on the roof, except the people who were supposed to be doing security. Isn't that weird? Same thing happened at the Charlie Kirk assassination. People saw the guy on the roof, except the security people. And of course, they didn't have anybody on the roofs. Why wasn't there any security people on the roof?
A highly paid security.
Highly paid security.
The millions of dollar paid security. I'm guessing trained by the Mossad, because that's where we get all our security from.
That's right.
As we should. It's a great organization from a great country that really helps us be great. Wait,
So-
really, you pay all that money and you still get it? And Pastor Rob McCoy, hey, people get shot. Hey, shit happens.
Yeah.
That's their explanation.
They're all lying. They're all lying. They've all been caught lying. They lied about the SD cards. They lied about Mikey McCoy. They lied, Rob McCoy. They lied about the drone. The head of security lied about drones. They paved over the crime scene 3 days after it. That's normal, right? You immediately pave over a crime scene.
Yeah. Mhm.
So nothing makes sense. And if you ask questions about things that make obvious no sense, or if you point out where the people closest to Charlie are caught lying time and time and time again, you're a crazy nut. You're a scumbag. You're a scumbag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could you ask a question like that when Erica Kirk's out there trying to bring the spectacle back to rock?
And now we know.
Grieving her husband.
Now we know. Now we have insiders saying that the Mossad had infiltrated TPUSA.
Now that is a shock.
And that is a shock. And Charlie was onto the fact that there was financial shenanigans to the tunes of millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars happening inside. And he ordered a Doe-style accounting of it. And then 8 days later, he was killed.
Yeah.
So if you ask any logical questions.
8 days later, he was out of here. See, all this is, like I said, it's falling apart. That house of cards is collapsing. See, this whole thing, in fact, let me get, before I close out, some comments. One's going to go right to it. It says, from the moment Charlie got assassinated and I started digging deep into TPUSA, it was very clear to me that it is a pure Israeli pawn, and the whole thing was set up to brainwash young American minds into supporting Israel, blindfolded. What a disgusting farce. Actually, I could close down right there, because that's what this whole organization was set up for. To brainwash young, especially male Edomites, so-called white people. All roads lead back to the Rothschild-Khazarian mafia. Charlie was finding out about all this corruption and did not like it. There are emails to that fact. He was even in communication with Netanyahu himself. TPUSA is a Mossad operation. How is Mossad not recognized as a terrorist organization? Good question. Let's see if I've gotten this applied. Same reason the CIA is. They are the same thing. CIA plus Mossad combined to form Hydra. Oh man. Anyway, somewhere on with the jokes. Because the entire country of Israel is nothing more than a deep state military base in the Middle East. That's another way of looking at it. All right. Ironically, the CIA is decentralized and Mossad is the more centralized operation because they control the narrative. It's pretty obvious. There you go. That's another good point. CIA plus Mossad is the most sophisticated terrorist organization in the world. You got to also MI6, Britain. All right. Reed William Blum, Christopher Bolin, John Potash. They bought Trump a long time ago. He's completely untrustworthy and compromised. What did I say earlier? Him and his administration, it's actually sick as fuck. Like, this is the United States of Israel at this point. There you go. I'm going to close it down at that. Well, let's see what a little more he has to say here.
You're crazy and you're a scumbag.
Yeah,
Okay.
When Kyle Rittenhouse, everything was on video and the main narrative did not add up at all.
Remember that?
You could go look at the evidence easily and see that what the authorities were telling you was a complete lie about Kyle Rittenhouse.
That's right. Same
thing.
This
is the moron other side of the aisle idiot position. Just like I know Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty of murder. You just look at the evidence. I don't need to see it. They won't look at it. They'll be like, then they'll ask you where your evidence is.
I had that.
They won't look at it.
Kurt, I had that happen to me. I had someone close to the show when the Kyle Rittenhouse thing happened. I said, did you see Matt Orfala's video and takedown? And he showed you how they're lying. I don't have to see it. You know, that's what people told me.
My ex-girlfriend said to me, I don't need to see the footage. I go, what am I, Galileo? Look in the telescope.
Right, yeah, I know. Hey, come see me on tour January 11th in Waikiki.
So there you have it. Everybody's, not as blind as they would want. All right. So they've got to hurry up and do something here. And that's why everybody's, well, not everybody, but that's why they've got to get this digital thing up and running, because at that point, they'll have total control, and it won't matter what you know, because they've got you if you take that MOTB. All right, so that's their goal right here. They got to get this digital monetary system up and running. So once again, this has been the Jimmy Dore Show. Whistleblower exposes shady Mossad operatives inside TPUSA. So with that, until the next video, and once again, I'd like to remind you to remain circumspect out here, all right, and continually pray always, as the scripture says. So with that, shalom.